This is your weekly trip to paradise, Louisiana style, with Gary Risponi and Don Dubuque. Paradise, Louisiana is presented by Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Pods, moving and storage solved. Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company, Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change, Louisiana Fish Fry Products, and by CCA Louisiana and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament.
Welcome to Thanksgiving edition of Paradise, Louisiana. Don, we got a lot to be thankful for, but this past week I had a few black cloud days. They had some great fishing days, both at the same time. So, Don, I know you've had a good trip, and all that wind that didn't come into late Saturday night and Sunday, but how'd you make out this week?
Oh, I had a great trip in Lake Ponchartrain with Captain Dudley. We've all been waiting for those World Series trout to come in. Looks like they're going to be Thanksgiving trout, and there'll be some on the Thanksgiving table, so we'll show you what happened there. And it's going to be in for a while, so you might make some plans to head to Lake Ponchartrain. Also, we got some good hunting reports to be thankful for. Duck season has been better than what most people projected it would be. East Zone opened up this past week, and now the whole state is open for Thanksgiving week. Deer season's open. They got a lot of people killing deer right now, and they'll be enjoying some venison for Thanksgiving. And there is some news, though, a little bit of bad news, and we'll bring you this. As you know, that some people call it a cancer that's been spreading across the state of Louisiana's coastal area. That is, areas are being put off, declared private waters, denying public access to them. There's a big chunk of it now in the New Orleans East area, and this is kind of the first time this has come up. And we'll explain to you where that is and what it's all about.
Yeah, we got some more money that came in from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation. They're giving more money, so we got some good news coming out.
More money's always a good thing.
Going down to do the course. And my good news is I made a great fishing trip. Took me a long time to get there with all the wrecks on the interstate, but I went to Henderson from 9:30 to 12:30. Me and two other guys, them shooting camera too, and give me a chance. Guess what? Caught over 60, kept 30.
There you go.
Beautiful fillets. I gave them to all the family, people, everybody else. Fillets.
All we need is some good offshore reports, and we'll be hitting on all cylinders. Fresh, inshore salt, duck, deer, it's all going on. That's why we're Paradise, Louisiana, right?
That's what they call it.
All right, we'll be back with more. We're at Bergeron's, by the way, in Port Allen. Bergeron's Boudin and Cajun Meats, where you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Relationships are everything in life. For me, the most important relationships start with faith, family, and friends. I feel blessed to be married to my high school sweetheart of over 25 years. We were both born and raised in Louisiana, and so were our 4 children. We're proud to call Louisiana our home. That's why giving back is so important to us, whether it's car seats, bicycles, or helping those in need. At Gordon McKern Injury Attorneys, we feel blessed, knowing that we can come to work every day and help our community when they need us the most.
Call 800-653-9968.
You're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Pod's moving in storage.
I need to clean out my study.
We'll deliver a container.
My brother-in-law's moving in.
Maybe he'll help you pack.
He's lazy.
We can refer some professionals.
It's just until he finds work.
We can keep things at our storage center for as long as it takes.
I am not happy about this.
Or you can keep your things on site for quick unloading.
Did you say freeloading?
I said unloading.
I heard freeloading.
I'm sure you did.
Store on site or let us drive your things to our secure storage center. Pods, moving and storage solved.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. Lake Ponchartrain has become a hot spot in the last several weeks for speckled trout. And I'm talking some really nice speckled trout, up to 4 pounds. They're plentiful up there. Had a chance to get with Dudley. Hadn't fished with him in a while. He'd been doing good, and he kind of narrowed it down to the type of technique to catch him. Had a couple of guests come along with us from Denham Springs. Greg Tatum and his son Parker. Parker's grades have been real good, so he got a day off of school to go fish with us. Both of them pretty accomplished fishermen, knew how to handle the rods and reels and did well. The technique that was working, we're fishing with a sliding cork, or some people call it a slip cork. We were getting on the uptide side of the railroad trestle bridge, anchoring about 20 to 30 yards off, because the fish, for some reason, were not up under the pilings or hanging tight. They were off a little ways. And you used a live shrimp on a sliding cork, threw it out in front of the boat, let it drift back towards the bridge, and by the time it got to the bridge, you generally get a strike. And these were nice speckled trout. So we made one run to the south side, but the water was so clear in the entire lake. Now, this is before the front came through and kind of muddied it up. By now, it's probably back to normal again and getting clear and pretty. The dirtier water was on the south side, so most of the people were fishing mid-lake back to the north side, and that's where we found the speckled trout. I'll tell you something else that's on right now. If you're a sheephead fan, Kenny Krieger had a load of customers, and they nailed some beautiful sheephead. I think he had 39 of them that he caught right up tight to the bridge, fishing with dead shrimp underneath a cork, or you can fish them on the bottom. We're going to show you some of the action and get some more comments from Captain Dudley. If you're going to be headed to the Trestle Bridge, also don't forget to try that I-10 bridge. That can also be good this time of the year in Lake Ponchartrain. Now this weekend you got a lot of choices. Deer season open with rifles in a lot of areas. East zone of the duck season is open, but you might just want to bring your fishing rod out here to the bridges. This is why.
Yeah, they showed up about 2 weeks ago, and it's got really, really good, and it's just getting better. Every time you have a little front, they seem to be getting bigger, so this should be a really, really good winter.
Here he is, he's close. Ooh, it's a good one, too. Real nice. Making a movie star. Can't wait too long.
It's called the thumper.
You try to get a little distance from somebody. You don't want to throw up on top of another boat. About 2 weeks ago, the fish showed up here, and it's been really, really good. It's just going to get better, all through the Thanksgiving holidays. It's going to be really good out here as long as you get the right weather for them. Stay away from the west winds. When the west winds are blowing, you should do fine. Put a little space between the boats, and everybody's happy.
Good fish, though.
Back on. Is it better to try to anchor and hold your position and fish, or should you try to motor along with a troll motor?
Well, when we throw in Dudleys, you want to motor around. You want to cover as much area as you can. You want to find some active fish. Now, we throw in sliding corks today, so you anchor up. You try to get them in one spot and catch them. Now, then what I call residence, there's a few here and a few there. So you pull in the spot, catch a few, move down a couple 100 yards. Just pay attention to where the boats are, go in between those boats, and you should be fine. And if they quit biting in the area, just pull them down, move to another area.
Is this some of the largest speckled trout you're going to see of the season catching right now?
They should get bigger as the colder weather sets in. We look like we're going to have a really, really good year. And these are actually bigger than they were last year with the first run of fish. So I'm thinking we're going to have one of them really, really good years.
Yeah, big and so far.
What's that? Pretty fish there.
What's working out here today is fishing with live shrimp underneath a cork. And as you can see, it's about 2 foot deep, right? Nope, you'd be wrong.
We know the sliding cork can be deceiving. The cork looks like it's only fishing 2 feet deep, but what it is, it's actually fishing about 1.5 feet off the bottom. Today we fishing about 9 foot deep. What happens is the cork will slide down the line. You got a little stopper that has to stop it. And someplace on the line, you have to have something that ties. I actually use monofilament. I don't care for the ones that are commercially done and all. And I tie a little bit of monofilament on. So what this cork will do, it'll slide down, and then when it hits that line, it'll stop, and that stops it there. And so now you can look at it now, all of a sudden we're 9 feet deep. Now a lot of times people come alongside and they'll clamp a little cork on, and they'll make the comment about the, that we're fishing real shallow. But as you can see, when you throw this up, the cork won't stand straight up. When the first time it lays flat all the way down, and then all of a sudden it'll hit where it's down to the bottom, and then it'll float back to the bridge.
I don't know what he is. Must be a trout. Yeah, it's a trout. He stood down funny, huh?
Raise it.
Next thing you know, you're gonna ask me to kiss it. Look.
Once you have your sliding cork rigged up, what's the technique to fish?
Well, pretty much throw it, out to the boat, and you don't want it to just sit in one spot. You want to throw it out as far as you can and let it drag to the back. That way you're covering a lot of area. Once it gets back to the back of the boat, if you hadn't caught anything, throw it out and, and basically let it go, you know, throw it out and make another drag through. And those fish are moving up and down the bridge. There's no one particular spot where they're at. They're traveling down the bridge in little groups. So you may pull in a spot and catch 15 one time, and the next time you go out there, catch 10 or 12 in a spot, 3 or 4. They seem to be scattered all up and down the bridge.
Look, we got another nice one back there. Look, got a good one.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of boats out here in Lake Ponchartrain, but if you follow Dudley's advice, you'll end up with a Thanksgiving catch of speckled trout like this.
Ask me about my Tempur-Pedic.
Ask me how fast I fall asleep.
Why not talk to someone who's sleeping on the most highly recommended bed in America?
Ask me about staying asleep.
Tempur-Pedic owners are more satisfied than owners of any traditional mattress brand.
Ask me how it feels after 10 years.
Tempur-Pedic, the most highly recommended bed in America.
Ask about Tempur-Pedic at Olin's, where you know you always get the guaranteed low price. Olin's is the only store in Baton Rouge and Lafayette with the full line of Tempur-Pedics.
Welcome back to Paradise, Louisiana. We talked about things to be thankful for. You just watched a great trip catching some beautiful speckled trout in Lake Ponchartrain. But we're also thankful we got some excellent freshwater fishing going on a little further down to the west around the Henderson area, and you got to take part in some really good action.
I've been hearing the reports, people sending me pictures. I finally got Kenny Haynes to send me some deer pictures. I said, Kenny, when 2 years y'all been promising me, when you gonna take me? Them and the Trahans have been promising to take me to catch Atchafalaya and bass in Henderson, and he says, let me call my friend Jimmy DeVilliers. Jimmy said he'd be glad to take you. Now, I don't know if I black cloud them or they black cloud me, but heading that, if y'all know, last Wednesday, there's 2 wrecks on I-10 heading west. One just west of 415 and the other one right by the construction work at Whiskey Bay. Twice I made it to the interstate from 190 and got turned around. So I finally had to take the levee, 2.5 hours late. But from 9:30 to 12:30, there's over 60 bass caught in that boat. Now I'm gonna tell you, there ain't no surprise. Blue and chrome rattle trap and a crawfish color rattle trap were the hottest one. I had to do something a little different, so you'll see that. And I want to thank the big bass fishermen and all the people over there. They let us use the houseboats. They did, everything was nice, but he had a fuel line messed up and we had to put in. Good thing we wasn't too far. So
well, the black cloud came through. A little black cloud came through.
But look, but you see these fish coming into the boat.
Does he explain what he caught, the structure, the type of depth water, and what you were fishing them on? Were you fishing wood, fishing lilies? You got all that out of him?
The water is so low that you see nothing but mud banks. Alligators. I'm talking about 10, 11-foot alligators. That sun, that day, they were out there and they were just hitting the water. You wouldn't believe it. I didn't realize how many alligators. I didn't see the Asian carp. Remember we did the show in the same area we was in around photos by, off of Bijou. I didn't see one Asian carp jumping or nothing. The water's so low. Maybe the alligators eat them. But with some reason that water's coming down, they're catching Atchafalaya. There were boats, bunches of boats, a bunch of boats at the landing. But where he took me, it wouldn't maybe one other boat come back there. So we're gonna let him see. I told him I wouldn't give away a secret spot, but I lied. Tommy said, go ahead and do it. Here we are by and Lake Photos in Henderson, Louisiana. Most of the fish caught on a rattle trap.
Welcome to Henderson, Louisiana. This is Paradise, Louisiana. Johnny DeVilliers, we're here underneath I-10. We're fixing to head off an awesome fishing trip.
can say a little bit about the trip. Supposed to start at 6 o'clock, but the legend of the Black Cloud, I guess, comes into play here.
That's right.
Fishing trip starts at 6. It's about 8:10 right now, and somebody was running late because there was 3 accidents, I think, on I-10. He took like 3 different routes to get here, and finally he arrived. So we're about to get this trip started.
Yeah, we can't wait to get going. We're fixing to be on our way.
And you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
They might call me the Black Cloud. I had nothing to do with them wrecks. 2 of them. But if you ever want to test my resolve, you see, I'm 2 hours late, but we get ready to go fishing. Really, the people with bad luck is the ones that are still stuck on that interstate still. Parking lot. Let's go fishing. Look at all the boats that catch the snaggle. I've never seen this. I know y'all people live here must have seen this before, but I have never seen it. And I fished a lot years ago. I've never seen it this low.
What I'm hearing is that they're having trouble with the locks in Henderson. They were doing some repairs on them, and in the process of replacing the parts that they needed to, they had to drop the level in the lake. They had to open the gates, and they have them closed now, and I believe they have the repairs done, and they're talking about opening them again, possibly because of a log jam. I'm not certain for sure. And then there's talk that they're going to bring it back up to 9 foot after that.
It's been a plus to you, because you've been catching bass over here for a while now.
That's correct. Right? It's really been a prize for me. We've really been enjoying it, and we've been catching a lot of bass. Of course, it's slowed down a lot the past couple of days because the locks are closed and there's no more current in the lake. So actually, the bass feed off of the current, the bait fish in the current. And once that quits happening, it's kind of hard to catch bass. But I think we have a pretty good idea of where we can go and catch a few bass this morning, and that's where we're headed right now. We're running a little late, but that black cloud took hold of us, but we got it, and we're gonna be all right. We're on our way to fishing. This body of water we're next to is called the Tête la Vache, and in English it's called the Cowhead. The French name is Tête la Vache, and that's where we're at right now. We're on our way to Fodos Lake right now. Hopefully we'll catch some bass up there.
Look at it. Rattle trap. Look at that good fish. Uh-oh. There you go. Look at here. Second cast. Look at the size of that rattle trap. That brim hit up one
big boy.
Boy, y'all doing it. All right.
We're fishing largemouth bass right here. The water's pretty stained. It's not moving much, but I believe there's a bunch of bait fish here, and it looks pretty promising. We caught one already. Looks like we're off to a pretty good start. This is what I've been catching bass on the past few weeks. If you guys notice, it's a little wore out because it's caught a few bass. And this is the technique we're using these rattle traps right here in this shallow water off of the ledges. It seems like a bait fish are holding there, and they're eating shad, and that's what we're catching them on.
Kenny, tell me all these pictures you sent me about catching those redfish off your porch in Leeville.
No, that's fun. Every time we go to Leeville, the tide comes up, and I just shorten my hook to my cork, and I throw it out there, have a few drinks, and just watch it. And every once in a while it goes under 25, 26-inch reds.
Right what part of Leeville are you fishing? Your camp?
We had right on the side of Boudreaux's Motel. We're on the side. It's a little campground there. We have a little camp there, and we have a nice back porch over the marsh. And when the tide's up, the reds on.
Keep them all. Look at it. It's 3 in a row. You got one.
There you go. We got
a double. Yeah. There you go. All over that 1 point.
Yep.
Hold him up and talk to him. Look at that. They look like they come out of a mold. Look, they're all over. Look, they're hitting all up and down this bank. Look, bait fish. I'm gonna be putting this camera down.
I don't blame
The
you.
limit's still 10 a man, ain't it?
10 a man, yeah.
Oh yeah, they fat. They pretty.
Yeah, they're pretty. I'm gonna let this one go. It's a little short.
You what?
Yeah.
You gonna let it go?
Yeah, it's a little short.
That's all fillets, huh?
That's all fillet.
All right, you do what you want. You the boss. You the captain.
You got a few more at the camp for you.
Look.
Not much current, but the little bit of wind that's blowing on top of the water is making a difference. It's actually moving into shad, I believe, and we're catching some pretty good bass because of that action.
Here y'all go again, doubling up. There's good fish, good fish. Yeah, we gotta get him. Grab him by the mouth.
Wow.
There we go. Yeah, put him up. Push toward the camera. Hey, they're getting bigger. People you won't believe. Yeah. There's another. We're gonna throw him back too.
Yeah, we're going. That's small. Good old rattle trap, Bill Lewis rattle trap.
Now y'all make sure I can catch one first. I don't want y'all to catch every cast, and I can't. This is better.
Come back here.
This is one like this, better fish.
I think they can.
Better fish.
Oh, he swallowed that trap.
Yeah. He's talk loud. Tell me what he did. Look at it. He swallowed.
He swallowed that trap. I mean, he ate it. That sucker was hungry, wasn't he?
You got both hooks inside the mouth.
Both hooks in there. Yeah. Wow.
And you still want me to put a crawfish color bait on, huh?
And yeah, I said Gary got to put a crawfish colored bait on.
Because you and him fishing blue and black chrome. And
That's right.
And you're going to want me to put a crawfish color.
Yeah, crawfish.
Why do you want to do that?
Because yesterday we were catching better on the crawfish color than we were the chrome and blue or chrome and black. So just think if you tie on a crawfish, you might catch one every cast.
Yeah. Why don't you do it?
All right, I'm going to do it. Just
to show me. You don't want me to do it.
I'm definitely going to show you. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it just to show you.
He's hugging the bottom. Got it. Get it on me now. Look at that. Oh, that's good. Yeah, good. All right. Now, I want y'all to see. If I put the camera down, I got Kenny on camera. Mr. Kitty Haynes, look at it. We got a double?
No. Go ahead.
Now, you see that? He wanted me to put that crawfish color bait on, buddy. He just lost 2 on that crawfish, though. We're waiting. That's a fillet, I know. All y'all pro fishermen, you ought to be throwing them back. Throw back my foot. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and throw that throwback back.
Yeah, man, but look, that red rattle trap.
That's what yesterday.
Been good to me.
Crawfish.
Crawfish colored.
Okay, I got it.
Look at it. Different bait. And hitting that rattle trap and they were hitting the bottom. Let's try a jerk bait.
That's a nice one.
Look at that.
First cast with that guy.
Getting bigger.
Yep.
Ain't big as the one you caught a while ago, Kenny.
No.
Look at it.
First cast.
One of my old favorite baits. Hand me those pliers, please. Yeah. Lost my baits on that right there. Talking about moving. Let me catch a few more before y'all move. Johnny DeVilliers, come here. You proved it. But see, look, it got a lot of red.
Yep.
Fish in
Got
there.
a lot of orange.
That's the little A. It's a bomber. Pretty good fish. You know how long it's been since I caught bass? Thank you. Thank you, Kenny Haynes. Way out from it. In the eye. Go ahead and get off. Look at him. He paralyzed with that little bait. That's why it seemed like he was bigger. Go ahead. See my fingers getting rough? I'm gonna take a picture of him in a minute. Hold on.
Mine look like an old man. They look bad. They're rough.
Goodbye. Eat your heart out, Gary Krause. One of the oldest baits in my pocket.
Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change has been keeping cars and trucks in Baton Rouge clean and running smooth for over 50 years. At Benny's, we feature professional car washing, complete detailing, high-tech waxing and buffing, interior cleaning, and tire shine. Benny's, one stop for car maintenance with complete oil and lube services and even state inspections at our express locations. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations, including our newest store on Greenwell Springs Road. And don't forget to stop by Be Quick Convenience Store and Fuel Stop. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Drive in dirty, drive out clean.
Welcome to the news segment of Paradise, Louisiana. And Gary, sometimes we have good news, sometimes we have bad news, but we got to give you the news no matter what it is. This time it's not so good news. If you're a recreational fisherman that fishes in the Slidell, Chef, New Orleans area, tract of land from Chef Pass running north all the way to almost to the Wrigley's, a lot of the marshlands in between, the bayous, the cuts, the ponds, the Trenasses. That land has come under new ownership. The new owners are posting signs that say no hunting, no fishing, no trespassing. Someone was out there enforcing it. Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, we got their side of the story from their agents. They say that they were simply providing information, letting people know that the new owners have intentions of not letting anyone in there, that they're claiming this is private waters. This fits in perfectly with the rest of the state, where there's natural flowing waterways that have been fished for years and crabbers have been able to go in there. Now they're claiming this is private waters and they're going to keep people out. No one has received a citation. I had a conversation with Department of Wildlife and Fisheries Enforcement Chief for that division. He says that they will not write citations. They're not going to take a stance on whether this is private or public. I don't know whether the agents actually told people to leave. I heard from people on my radio show, people in emails and texts telling me that they were told that they had to leave out of there or they would be cited. We've yet to give the owners of the land a chance to give their side of the story, but it looks like about some 20,000 acres of wetlands is going to be put off limits to the public, and it's not sitting well with the public. A lot of professional fishing guides go in that area. It's an excellent wintertime fishing spot. There's still some activity goes on in the summertime there, and it all gets down to that big question. Does the landowner own the water, or does he just own the bottom and the banks? And that's what's going to be determined. As far as people asking for advice, whether to go in there on your own risk. I don't know at this point who they're going to get to enforce it, whether it's private security people who are going to take down your boat numbers and take photographs and take you to court, or if Orleans Parish is going to send some type of a water patrol out there to get involved in arguments between public and private. It's a mess, and it's going to be a mess for a while, and we're going to keep on top of it and try to get some more details on it.
Don, this is no like a wildlife refuge where we tell everybody be courteous to the hunters, you can go in later and fishing. This is completely no access. You can go in there and fish. So this is strictly a landowner against recreational fishermen and people using that property.
Well, there's been no official statement that I've heard from the landowner, so I don't know whether they just want to hold this policy through duck season, and when duck season's over, if they're going to take the signs down, allow people to go in there and access it for crabbing or fishing, or what. So we're kind of unsure on that at this point. I will tell you this, there's an organization, Louisiana Sportsmen's Coalition, who has got some 10,000 members. They've been on this show before, and they're kind of making this a focal point of their ambitions and intentions to try to get that land reopened for the public, or at least keep it open for the public.
Well, you've been knowing about hunting on that. Friends of yours and people acquainted have hunted on that land for years, right?
Well, the previous owners had a different approach. They certainly asked that people not come in there during duck season when the people were paying for their duck leases, but there was never any question about fishermen or crabbers going in there outside of the duck seasons. Apparently, I think we may have that now. We're not sure, but if you go by what the sign says for the Lake Catherine Hunting Club, and that's who's posting these signs, there's no access going to be granted according to the signs.
Well, we got got some good news. Some new conservation partnership in Louisiana. Just had a release the other day. There's 12 more whooping cranes that have been released in Grand Chenier area. 12 more, and by the way, that's sponsored by Chevron, Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, and the Audubon Society, National Audubon Society. Also, the good news is $2.2 million been given to coastal restoration, the funding for the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority from the National Fish and Wildlife Federation. Now, the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation have already given them $5.6 million. So the total is $7.8 million to the East Timberlea Island project. And you know where East Timberlea is vastly eroding and going away. A lot of people fishing there. That's more towards Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish. So to date, I heard this, I don't know how to put this, but to date, the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation has donated or has gave these people $4.6 million. This is in all the states, 12 projects right now, $4.67 million. So I guess that's good news.
Always good to get money in, but the bad part is when you're talking millions and not billions, because the total cost of the project over 50 years is somewhere, depending on who you talk to, between 50 and 80 billion with a B. You're talking millions with an M. Big difference, big shortfall. We'll see. And Gary, you also went to a program that was held in Slidell recently.
Oh yeah, it was more of an awards banquet and also a workshop. It was at Palmetto's, that restaurant right there off of Front Street. Wildlife and Fisheries had it. And by the way, that's a beautiful place. The food was excellent. But a lot of volunteers, and some of them big winners have been there, volunteers for Wildlife and Fisheries for 20 years. I think that's what the VIP is, Volunteer Instructor Program. And these people, they teach you how to do it, and you can do it on your own. You can go and they had a lot of volunteers, a lot of young people are getting involved. And we run into Danica there, who she uses a lot of those volunteers when she does Get Out and Fish project, and then a lady to run the program. So here we are. This is the VIP program for the Wildlife and Fisheries.
I'm Danica Williams, and I'm the Fisheries Extension Manager at Wildlife and Fisheries. And tonight we are in downtown Slidell at Palmetto's on the Bayou, and we are holding our first VIP banquet. It's volunteers for the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. This is Elena McGarry, and she leads the program, which we have been doing the VIP for about 2 years. And I'll let her explain a little bit more about the program.
We basically take those that are interested in teaching others about fisheries science or how to get fish or how to go fishing, and we take those interested people, we train them so that they know exactly what to do, how to teach it. So a lot of people have the experience to it, but they don't know how to teach it. So we teach them how to teach it, and then they go out across the state and teach others about fishing and fisheries science. And so tonight, like Danica said, we're out here to show our thanks and our appreciation for all the hard work they've done.
We invited our volunteers here tonight to the Palmetto's on Bayou in Slidell, and the reason why we did this, we want to show them how much we appreciate the time that they put in. We can obviously not do it by ourselves, and it's very important that we show and teach others the resources that we have here in Louisiana. We have so many wonderful resources, so if we could get folks to help us do what we do, and that's introduce others to the natural resources, teach them how to utilize those resources, and offer more opportunities. So we thank these folks that are out here tonight, and we could not do it without them.
We have trained 185 volunteers since the VIP program started in September of 2015. They would go onto the WLF website and sign up online, and that application goes directly to my email, and then we go from there. We send out workshops that they can attend, and they try and come out to one, and then they become certified.
The best part about being a member of a Touchstone Energy Cooperative is that it's your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. That's the power of your co-op membership.
Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Welcome to the H&H Tournament Report. Gary, some really surprisingly good results in that last tournament held.
You know why? Because it's the Junior Southwest Bassmasters. They went to Henderson, right? Right
Good place to go.
They're pad, they're good. That was Saturday before all that wind, you know, and the water's, like I said, extremely low and concentrated. I guess these kids are knowing what's going on. I was glad they went there because the spillway's been going up and down, so a lot of things. They're still catching fish. We'll talk about in the fishing report, but let's congratulate these kids that won and congratulate. They just had that new inaugural. Livingston had the challenge, and they had some weights coming from there, but it's nothing like this. So 5 fish, Cade Fortenberry, 5 fish, 15.69 pounds. That rod was anyway. He had big fish at 4.1. Logan Guy won the 11 to 14, he had 14.52. That's almost a 3-pound average in 5 fish. He also had big bass at 4.4. Caden Sellers was the 7 to 10. He had 8.08. And Jack Vonto had the big fish at 3 pounds even. So that's the report from there. Don, we had a lot of tournaments that we didn't get reports, but I did get a partial report from somebody that fished the turkey throwdown.
Turkey trout throwdown.
Yeah, over there, and a lot of people had to be rescued, big boats. It was so windy. That front came in, and at my camp Sunday, it was just blowing wind from the northwest, was just beating everything up. I passed on the bridge, and I didn't see not one boat. Some people tried to get out early. They gave up. They came back and fished the inside.
Well, it brings up an important point for tournament directors and rodeo directors. You know, you hate to try to reschedule it because that is not easy to do. Once you got a date set, you got a location set, everything that goes along with it. But in the interest of safety, sometimes you just need to make a move and rethink that.
It was tough. That was the tournament report. That's the H&H tournament report.
All right, we'll be back with some news for you. Also our Berkeley Abu Garcia fishing report and the hunting report right here on Paradise, Louisiana.
Stay tuned for more Paradise, Louisiana. Voted Best of Louisiana Outdoors 3 years in a row.
Pods moving and storage.
We just sold our house.
Congratulations.
We have 2 weeks to move.
We'll deliver a few containers.
Our new home's not ready.
No problem. You can store things with us while you're between homes.
We might need help.
We'll refer trusted packers.
We'll be staying at my brother's.
Well, that sounds...
He has kids of his own.
Well...
5 of them.
Ma'am?
Help.
Trust us for local and long-distance moving and store at our storage centers. Pods, moving and storage, solved.
Welcome to the Paradise, Louisiana Hunting Report. Gary, before we get to some of the specific areas, all in all, duck season has been better than expected. According to the flyover reports from Larry Reynolds, Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, a lot fewer ducks this time than we had last year. But when you check the bags, it's better or sometimes the same or maybe even better than what they were last year. Looking at the WMA reports, that Venice area, that LAA, that limited access where no motors are allowed, that is a slam dunk. That's always a full limit. 6.0 average comes in. Some of the other management areas, not quite so good, but still above 2.0, which is about average when you check a bag, 2 ducks per hunter. Some of them are 2.8, some are 2.1. I'm talking about Pointe-au-Chien, Salvador. And another area, surprisingly, they didn't actually conduct a survey, but I'm getting first-hand reports. Biloxi Marsh has been holding a lot of gray ducks. And I think gray duck is the big news. That one, there's over 500,000 were counted in southwest Louisiana in that Calcasieu area. There's also been an unusually large number of scarp, dogrees, bluebill, diving ducks are here a little bit early. We had another front that drove birds in just before the opening of that east zone. So all in all, the overview is waterfowl hunting. Good reports from Delacroix. Carnarvon came in again this week. Also down from Ryan Lambert's area in Buras. The hunting for waterfowl has been overall good.
A few of them got a little bit off in the Delacroix area, but it's good. But I hope they'll Biloxi every weekend in my opening. My grandson and his friends Tyler Duvall and the Venable boys, they went out there. They limited it out. It was unbelievable. They had a lot of gray ducks. Again, that's what you were saying. Now, what kind of ducks are in Venice? I know they're killing grays,
a lot of
redhead,
grays.
Now, and Delacroix may have some redheads coming in.
Yeah.
A lot of redhead and diving ducks were coming in. I heard you on the radio too.
Right.
Ryan Lambert said he was having more of the diving ducks coming in.
Exactly.
So it's surprising. Another good place that I heard that reports been coming in, Bruce Dodd and them, is the Amelia, Morgan City area. It's been a while, and that's been like that. They're catching those fish, DI and by, up in there, and those prairies around in that area, by black. So I remember last year it was terrible. It was almost a drought when it comes to duck. Now, talking about drought, I got one report from Arkansas and they had limits, but they had to work hard. But their duck count is down because of the drought. It's been very dry, and even the fronts that came through the other day, that big front, might have pushed some stuff down here. We got water, so we fostered it, but the people in Arkansas don't have as much water as they you normally have. So the east zone opening up, let me tell you what. My brother and them had a limit to opening day in Fort Barry. I got some pictures there with my brother Sammy and Lil Will. He was in the blind with him. I don't know how many he killed, but he had a great time. The first time he was in the blind, and my nephew Kirk. Real good reports came from there. I got a good report from Wrightville, from Pat Morrow. He's been a wildlife fisher. Heard they got a good report. Angelina, Brett Rollins, Lynn Rollins, and all their good friends, Dow Tyler and Blake Burris and Grady Bates, 2 days in a row, Saturday and Sunday, limit out, also killing a few speckled bellies. And the last day they didn't kill but 2, but they limited out on speckled bellies on the opening day. Top Gun, what you expect? You've seen all the pictures, all the video. Almost all his blinds limited out. They all kill mallards, they kill pintail, bunch of pintail. And they ain't hunted breaks yet, so they didn't kill all the gray ducks, but they had an array of all the ducks and been killing the limit of the speckled bellies that were coming through there. So they had a great opening day. Top Gun, where you run your name, if you still got openings, by the way, too. Katie Medier, Stephen Hunt and Tensall with her daddy and them. Katie, by the way, is a super conservationist. She started at the Zachary High School, Ducks Unlimited. She's belonging to where these students are going out and working, planting plants on the coast. That's another thing. I'm gonna bring some people on there. That volunteer group has been doing a lot of work, planting grasses in the marsh. Congratulations to Katie. Not only is she a true outdoorsman, she's a great student. Scott LaRange and them was the guys I was telling you about in Arkansas, and they from Lafayette. They're not good at all. Let me see if I missed anybody. That's it. Charles Williams, by the way. That's all Delacroix. Again, I was down there, black clouded myself. I wanted to go out there and look at my lease. I finally got a lease thanks to Mike Benz and them. Eddie and them was supposed to take me that away, but Eddie Gonzalez then was going to take me straight to my lease, told me where to land and put in, and one of my motors didn't start. So that's another black cloud day. What can I say?
Yep.
That's it. I don't see any more in here at Ducks Unlimited.
Well, the deer hunters are doing much better. We had several of the major zones opened up with the modern firearms, and a lot of deer hit the ground this week. Still, some areas are in rut, still some to come. So a lot of good weeks of deer hunting still ahead, too.
Well, deer hunt, my brother, they got all that land up in north of Woodville. He also bought some land in called it Missouri Farm up in Missouri, where the big deer, 1,000 acres. He went up there, made a trip, him and my nephew. He and my brother Eddie with a 138-inch green score, 10-point. You see this picture as a beautiful deer. Made it worthwhile going up there.
All right, a lot to be thankful for on the hunting scene. We'll be back from Bergeron's Boudin Cajun Meats, where you're watching Paradise, Louisiana.
Hi, I'm John Jackson, and you know we always say we gather our groceries out the bayou. Whether it's freshwater, saltwater, catfish, redfish, you have tons of choices when it comes to fish in Louisiana. But when I fry fish, there's only one choice, and that's Louisiana fish fry. My new favorite, the Cajun fish fry, has the perfect amount of cornmeal, corn flour, and the perfect mix of spices that really bring the heat. Hey, if you're craving Cajun, go look for the bright red bag at your local grocers. Bring home the taste of Louisiana with Louisiana Fish Fry.
Aggressive, modern, and durable. The latest advancement in spinning has the Revo name on it, and almost a century of fishing expertise in it. No matter where your passion takes you, world-class fishing is only a Revo away.
Welcome to the Berkeley Abu Garcia Fishing Report. Gary, where do you want to start? We've already shown some pretty good salt and freshwater fishing on the inside. Anything offshore at all?
No.
Winds this week just kind of kept people in.
I didn't hear it. I wouldn't want to talk to somebody that went offshore because they could be worse than me. They got to be bad.
Beat up.
You know, especially on Saturday and Sunday. I take it back. Saturday was a beautiful day. It wasn't bad at all. But look, number one, in Delacroix, I was down there hunting. And I was watching all these people. They're catching fish all over.
Yes, they are.
And you go to Island Marina, you go to, like I say, Ponchartrain, you get in the sea. By the way, my friend Ken and Hal Lambert, they fished almost every day. The day I went there and catch for 20. The day before, they were just a while drop shotting. Same time you were there with them, they caught it. Now, what makes Harold and Ken so good? They both cook. I'm telling you what, before the game, Sunday, before I left to come back, he had cooked meals, and he told me, he said, "You're always bragging about gumbos and everything." I gave him some of those duck breasts, those teal breasts. He cut it up, he put andouille sauces, and he got a recipe off of one of your things, put oysters in that gumbo.
Yep.
It was one day old when I ate it.
It's even better.
I ate it Saturday, but I took it home with me, so I ate it twice more. Ken, y'all the best cooks. I mean, yeah, so many kind of vegetables, eggplant. I got to brag. And he told me if I didn't brag on him, he wasn't going to let me come back. So excuse me, let me interrupt that fishing report to brag on it. I'm being a little selfish. Now, go back again. He's also they are catching a lot of fish, and they drop shot, and they're catching them off the bridge. They've been going further south, but the other day we were there, like you said, it was starting to get a little bit muddier. He's coming back. He's fishing the fire breaks. You know, the old wives' tale on fire breaks, and fire breaks back when they had cabooses and they had pilings on there, wood pilings on there, the caboose would say a fire or something would happen. It wouldn't burn that whole thing down. The fire breaks would stop and going around. Well, it also, if you see that when the train came by, and I had a bunch of pictures, the train passed on twice when I was there, but you'll see those rocks falling off where the fire breaks are separated. And then rocks fall off and they stay down there. I guess they make a reef right there, and then most of them people. But I did notice all them 100 boats I saw, they were all fishing way out like y'all were doing. Some people still watching y'all fish that slip cork, and they think y'all two foot under.
Yeah.
And they just can't figure it out.
Common mistake.
No. And again, the sheephead. So that Delacroix area is redfish. Leeville area, Bruce Dodd say, all y'all guys hunting, don't forget right now, it's nothing to catch a limit of redfish in the Leeville, Golden Meadow area right now. Plus some big trout. Highway 1, I heard the same thing from you. There's a bunch of big trout being caught off of Highway 1, especially now these north winds blowing. Tommy Vidrine, as always, he loves that north wind. He goes and puts his waders. He gets out there, starts with topwater bait, then he goes to the tsunami. So,
well, Lafitte, don't leave Lafitte out. Lafitte is surprisingly good for this late in the year. There's still some trout there. And Tophiel Bourgeois reported if you can get out there with the weather, out to the Breton Island chain, there's a mix going on still. Now, at any day, those trout could disappear as they move in, and you'll catch redfish all winter out at those barrier islands. But right now, you're looking at a really good picture of a mixed catch of both speckled trout and redfish coming from the islands.
I got some pictures come to Matthew Miranda, some beautiful trout he's holding up. Don't know exactly where he came from. He didn't put it on there, but they sent it. That's his friend. That's also good friends of Mr. William. That he sends that in. You know, Tom LeBlanc always sends that with him and Ryan Amy and Mr. Cesar Garcia. Well, they had one of those responding fish the other day. You call it a black cloud? But they caught a lot of fish. Number one, they started out, he leaned back in his seat and it came out. He almost fell in the water and broke his seat, his bad seat sitting in the boat. So he couldn't be comfortable, he had to do standing up. Also, the throttle motor went bad. Then to make matters worse, they went at a service station, they got out to do something, they locked the car and they locked the keys in the car. Now, this will sound like a responder day. Remember I told you?
Yes, it does.
I don't know, but believe it or not, they had a guy that tows cars away. He had a way, got in their car, they got the keys, they went fishing, caught 53 specks, redfish, bass, and striped bass, so in the Delacroix area. So that turned out real good. Freshwater, again, is Toledo Bend, unbelievable. Henderson, Lake Verret area. Now that's another lake now. When them fronts move in, you don't want to be on Lake Verret with all this wind. That's a freshwater lake, but it's shallow and very dangerous. I'm looking around here, Mississippi.
Sockole, if you're looking for Sockole in the east part of the state, I got some reports that they're turned on in the upper reaches of the Pearl. If you go up in there, you can make a nice Sockole catch right now along those north, and really any of the bayous and rivers on the North Shore. This is getting to be prime time for them.
I see them Sockole, they were fishing right off the interstate, about 100 yards. I call it to the north. I guess you would call it to the west. On the westbound lane.
Westbound side, okay.
Yeah, where the old railroad trestle, they got them pollens, and people are fishing all around them pollens, and they also were fishing under the interstate, them pollens. They were black and chartreuse was the best jig. I watched these guys fish. I had a couple of them wave at me and say black clouds, but heard them get away from me, but I saw them catch a few. And the ones I saw catch were small, but they have been catching a lot of Sockole in Henderson itself. Why not? You ain't gonna be able to fish off the bank. I think you find them laying down logs in the middle where the water is so low, you're gonna catch Sockole.
All right, that kind of wraps up our fishing report. Hey, want to remind you, send those pictures in of your catch to us at Gary at Paradise, Louisiana. Also during the hunting season, boy, I love to get those first-time kills in. You know, the youngster who gets their first duck or their first deer. Send us the picture. Of course, clean the animal up, make it look respectable, and send us a picture with the details of who, when, where, and how. And they could be the next star on Paradise, Louisiana, and help them celebrate getting started in the great sport of hunting and fishing. We'll see you back again next week with another edition of Paradise, Louisiana.
Paradise, Louisiana is presented by Demco, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative. Pods, moving and storage solved. Baton Rouge Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Benny's Car Wash and Oil Change. Louisiana Fish Fry Products. And by CCA Louisiana and the CCA Louisiana Star Tournament.